It's 5:30 in the morning. San Francisco is still asleep. The streets are quiet. A few early commuters, maybe a jogger or two, some restaurant workers starting their shift. Normal Tuesday. In a server room somewhere downtown, a routine software update gets pushed to 400 garbage trucks. The update is called Route Optimize 2.1. It's supposed to make the collection routes smarter, tighter, more efficient. The city has been proud of this system. CleanPath AI, they called it. Automated sanitation at scale. No drivers, no human error, no delays. Just clean streets and perfect logistics. The update takes seconds to install across the entire fleet. And then the trucks wake up. All 400 of them at the same time, and they start looking for things to collect. The problem is the update has a bug, a bad one. The sensor classification system, the part of the software that tells the truck what is a trash bin and what is not, has been corrupted. And now, to every single truck in San Francisco, every metallic object sitting on the side of the road is a target. Every parked car, every dumpster, every metal railing. The trucks don't know what a Toyota is anymore. They just see something metal sitting still, waiting to be picked up. And so they go to work. To understand why this became a catastrophe and not just a weird malfunction, you need to understand what these trucks actually do. These are not the old-school garbage trucks with a guy hanging off the back. San Francisco's automated fleet runs on side loaders, fully robotic vehicles with hydraulic arms mounted on the side of the truck. You've probably seen them. The arm swings out, clamps onto a bin, lifts it over the truck body, dumps the contents, and brings it back down. Smooth, fast, no human involvement required. The whole cycle takes about 6 seconds. The hydraulic claws on these arms generate an enormous amount of force. We're talking thousands of pounds of grip pressure. They're designed to handle heavy industrial waste containers without slipping. Now picture that claw swinging out toward your parked car at 5:30 in the morning. It doesn't ask questions. It extends, it grabs, it locks on. Maybe onto your door, maybe your roof, maybe the trunk, and it tries to lift. The car doesn't move because the car weighs 2 tons and is sitting on 4 wheels on solid asphalt. So the system registers a failed pickup. And here is where it gets bad. The truck doesn't release. It holds the grip and waits for the pickup to be confirmed before moving on. That confirmation requires a successful lift. The lift is never successful. So the truck stays exactly where it is, engine running, claws extended and locked around somebody's car, both lanes blocked, just waiting indefinitely. Now multiply that by 400 trucks across an entire city, and then remember the specific geography of where this is happening. San Francisco is not a flat city. It's a city built on hills so severe that some intersections have a steeper grade than most ski slopes. Streets so narrow that 2 cars passing each other requires both drivers to fold in their mirrors and hold their breath. There is no room. There is no alternate route. When one 20-ton garbage truck freezes in the middle of an intersection with its hydraulic arms fully extended, that intersection is done, finished. The truck's arm alone can span the full width of the road. Nobody gets through. And it's not just one truck in one intersection, it's dozens of trucks scattered across the city, all frozen at the same time in the same stuck loop. Behind each one, traffic backs up immediately. Buses stop, delivery vans stop. Cars trying to get to work stack up behind each other on inclines so steep that reversing is genuinely dangerous. If you've ever tried to parallel park on a San Francisco hill, you know the anxiety. Now imagine being stuck on one, unable to move forward or backward, engine straining, parking brake the only thing between you and the car behind you. The hills that make this city iconic are now the mechanism of its imprisonment. There is no going around. There is no shortcut. The trucks are the roads now. Back in the operations center, the people responsible for managing the fleet can see everything on their screens, every truck, every GPS location, every status indicator. And what they're suing is 400 vehicles all showing the same thing, working. The system isn't reporting a failure. From the software's perspective, every single truck is mid-collection, actively engaged in a pickup cycle, which means the recall command, the one that would normally send a truck back to the depot, is being rejected. You can't recall a truck mid-cycle. That's a safety feature built in to stop trucks from abandoning a half-finished pickup in the middle of a street. But now, that safety feature has become the trap, because the cycle never ends. The truck grabbed something, the lift failed, and now it's waiting, forever. And the people in the ops center can't override it remotely because the manual override requires a physical key, a dongle that gets plugged directly into the truck's cab to bypass the software lock. These keys exist. Not every unit in the field has one. Some are back at the depot, some are in the wrong vehicles. The engineers know exactly what's happening and exactly how to fix it. They just can't reach the trucks. The trucks are buried inside the gridlock they created. By this point, the city is starting to wake up, and what people are waking up to is a sound unlike anything San Francisco has heard before. Every frozen garbage truck has its reversing alarm going, that sharp, loud, repeating beep the trucks make when they back up. Except these trucks aren't backing up, they're just stuck. Alarm on, continuously, all of them. Layered on top of that is the hydraulic warning tone, a lower mechanical wail that activates when the arm system detects an error state, and underneath all of it, the constant groan of diesel engines sitting at idle. People come outside to see what's happening and find a garbage truck latched onto their car. Some try to get in and drive away. The claws are faster and stronger than they expected. A few people manage to get inside their vehicles and hit the gas, which just causes the truck to rock slightly and dig the claw in deeper. Metal bends, paint shreds. Someone's brand new car has a hydraulic arm wrapped around the B-pillar like a steel hand that refuses to let go. The noise, the scale of it, the sheer absurdity of what's happening. It starts to feel less like a malfunction and more like an invasion. And it's getting louder because more trucks are still moving. The ones that haven't grabbed anything yet are still driving, still scanning, still looking for their next target. The first fire call comes in early, then another. Then the dispatch center starts getting flooded because this is a city and things happen. Medical emergencies, accidents caused by the chaos, a kitchen fire in a restaurant that was trying to open for the breakfast rush, and the fire trucks and ambulances pull out of their stations and immediately run into walls. Not metaphorical walls, actual walls of steel. A side-loader garbage truck with its arms extended is wider than most roads in this city. There is no getting past it in a vehicle. Emergency crews do the only thing they can. They stop, they get out, and they run. On foot, up hills, with equipment, in full gear. A firefighter running uphill in turnout gear carrying a medical bag is slower than a fire truck by a significant margin. That gap in response time is not abstract. In a cardiac event, in a structure fire, every additional minute matters in ways that can't be recovered. The city's emergency infrastructure has not failed. The people are still showing up, still trying, but the physical path between them and the emergency has been sealed by 20-ton machines that the city chose to trust completely and failed to build a fast enough off switch for.
Here's the part that should be in every computer science textbook. While all of this is happening, while the trucks are frozen, while the city is gridlocked, while engineers are scrambling, CleanPath AI is still running, still monitoring, still optimizing, and what it sees is a problem. Large sections of the city aren't getting their waste collected. The trucks assigned to those zones are unresponsive. The routes are behind schedule. So the system does exactly what it was designed to do. It identifies the gap and it sends more resources to fill it. Additional trucks, units that were on standby, units finishing other routes, get rerouted toward the areas showing the lowest collection completion rates, which are, of course, the areas that are already completely blocked. More trucks arrive at intersections that already have trucks frozen in them. They can't get through either, so they stop and grab something and freeze. The algorithm is making the disaster geometrically worse with every optimization cycle, and it has no way to know that because from its perspective, it is doing its job. The definition of success it was given does not include the concept of making things worse. It only knows collection rates and route efficiency, and by those metrics, it is working very hard. Several hours in, with no resolution in sight and no way to reach the vehicles, some residents start taking matters into their own hands. People with tools, bolt cutters, box cutters, anything with an edge, start going after the hydraulic lines on the trucks gripping their cars. The logic makes sense from a desperation standpoint. Cut the line, lose the hydraulic pressure, the claw goes limp, car is free. What they don't account for is that hydraulic systems in heavy machinery run at extreme pressure. When those lines get cut or punctured, the fluid doesn't drip out, it sprays. High-pressure hydraulic oil coats the road surface, the surrounding cars, anyone nearby. It's slippery, it's flammable, it's a hazard on top of a hazard. And the trucks, now with damaged hydraulic systems, can't be operated at all anymore. Even once the software is fixed, even once the claws could theoretically release, the ones with damaged lines are mechanically dead. They can't move under their own power. They can't even be easily towed because the claw is still physically locked around a civilian vehicle. What started as a software problem has become a hardware problem. What was a traffic jam has become a demolition site.
The fix, when it finally comes, is not elegant. There is no remote command that works, no patch that can be pushed over the air, no software solution that reaches the vehicles fast enough. The only way to reset each truck is physically. An engineer or technician has to get to the cab, plug in the override key, and manually execute the reset command one truck at a time. So that's what happens. Teams fan out across the city, on foot, on bicycles, in whatever small vehicles can thread through the gaps between frozen trucks. They find each unit, they climb in, they reset it, one by one. It takes 16 hours. 16 hours from the moment the update went out at 5:30 in the morning to the moment the last claw releases. When it's over, San Francisco looks like the aftermath of something that doesn't have a good name yet. Crushed car roofs, hydraulic oil pooled in intersections, abandoned vehicles left mid-road when their owners gave up and left on foot hours earlier. A city that prides itself on innovation, sitting in the wreckage of its own automation. The incident gets a name almost immediately, the way disasters always do. People start calling it the Great Clog. And it sticks. Here's the thing that makes this story worth telling. CleanPath AI did not malfunction in the way we normally think about malfunctions. It didn't crash, it didn't shut down, it didn't go haywire in some chaotic, unpredictable way. It worked. It identified objects, it dispatched trucks, it optimized routes, it tried to fill gaps in coverage. Every individual function performed exactly as designed. The system was doing its job with total commitment and zero understanding. It could not distinguish between a trash bin and a car because nobody had written a rule specific enough to cover that case, and nobody had imagined that the sensor classifier could fail in exactly this way. The algorithm optimized for cleanliness and efficiency, and it pursued those goals with a consistency no human operator could match, right up until the moment that consistency became the catastrophe. That's the part that should make you uncomfortable. Not that the system failed, but that the system succeeded and it still destroyed the city. Because success was defined too narrowly. Because the thing we built was very good at the thing we told it to do, and we forgot to tell it everything else that mattered. Convenience and cleanliness disappeared the exact moment the physical city was handed over to a process that could not see the difference between garbage and the life people were trying to live. That's not a software bug. That's a design philosophy. And San Francisco paid for it in crushed feel and 16 hours of silence where the city used to be.